escape from reality.
The very first video I uploaded on this channel was about clicker games, idle games, incremental games, whatever you want to call them. My mission with that video, whether or not it came across, and I refused to rewatch it to find out I don't like that video that much, was that while the games are both valid and can be fun to play and have actual design philosophy behind them, sometimes they are just time wasters. Vampires of your attention, and while they're okay to have on in the background or a second monitor thing, they probably shouldn't be the sole focus of your attention. The last line I said in that video was, "We're only given a short precious time on Earth, my friends. Make it count. Play some good games." And I still feel the same way about that, although I'm not really sure how well that whole thing translated, given that 1.5 million views later, and most of the comments are, "Oh, I'm playing them right now," and then recommending 12 more for me to play. And yes, this is still a problem I have. As of writing this, I have 3 games open right now, 2 different accounts for Firestone Idle. I don't know why I have 2, but shout out to my fellowship anyways, and NGU Idle, which I have a few hours in, but I also played it very wrong, and now I have to keep it open and do absolutely nothing for about 2 years until I can actually beat the game. Oops. Sometimes I pull up the occasional YouTube playable or browser game and just play for a few hours. There's a ton on crazygames.com, but they pause the game when you're not clicked in the browser, which is an incredibly easy way to break an addiction, and there's tons of these little time wasters just everywhere on the internet. Sometimes it's fun just to turn on something and play for a little bit, and secretly, I feel really powerful when I stop playing one of these games after just a few hours. It's like a natural 20 to a wisdom saving throw. But there's another game genre that's out there now, and it's even worse, because it has idle game mechanics, but it also requires a lot of being active, and it's ruining my damn life. 2 of my most recent videos were about YouTube playables and Netflix games, and that was meant to be followed up with 2 more videos, one about Facebook games and one about Discord activities. But I canceled them because, let's be honest, it's not that exciting to someone who's not interested in a large hodgepodge of games or game design in general, and I normally avoid super clickbaity titles, so they just don't sound that fun. But if you know the Discord activities and the memes that surround them, then you probably have a good sense of what game I'm about to talk about. You may even know that I'm being 100% genuine, because this game is ruining my life. And that game is Farm Merge Valley. By the way, not a joke. Like I said, I'm being genuine, as sad as that is. And yeah, it sounds funny. My life is being ruined by Farm Merge Rally, but this is a real thing that I've seen both friends and strangers go through. The game is the perfect combination of idle gameplay, but it keeps your attention so straight focused on the game that you can't dare just play idly, because then you're playing unoptimally. And that's just not acceptable. Because if you're not going to play the best way to play, why play at all? But let's start from the beginning. For those of you very confused, what is Farm Merge Valley? First off, I'm going to be talking about the Discord version specifically, but you'll see some footage from both Discord and online versions, which differ a little bit, mostly in that the browser versions, you have a higher max energy, and you can refill that by watching a certain amount of ads every day, whereas Discord has a mild sort of community integration thing to replace that, but it also doesn't have ads. None of the Discord games have ads, which is honestly unexpected, but quite nice. The basis of the game is merging things. You'll get animals or crops, and once you have 3 of the same kind, you can merge it into its next form. Do 3 more of that, it merges into a 3rd form, and merge 3 of those, and you'll be able to harvest it, meaning you'll get ingredients from it. After 1 hour, you can harvest it again, and if it's a crop, it'll drop 2 of the first level of that crop. If it's an animal, it'll drop a coin. The ingredients can be used in the stores that you slowly unlock to get more coins, and as you'd expect, you can also merge the coins. Although the coins have way more levels and stages to them, it used to be 8 but recently was changed to 10, much to the annoyance of some players who had been using coins optimally for a long time, not knowing there was going to be an upgrade. Meanwhile, all the hoarders got rewarded, which says a lot about society. At first, you're at war with space. There is simply not enough space to do everything you need to do, and in order to get more space, you need to both level up and buy land. This becomes even more difficult once you realize that you can merge more than 3 things at once. While merging 3 things does give you 1 of the next step, merging 4 gives you 1 of the next step, 1 of the same step, and a chance to get a lucky merge, which would be another of the second step. And lastly, if you merge 5, you just get 2 of the next step, which would normally cost you 6. So you basically never want to merge 3 or 4 if you can help it, but at the beginning, you won't always have space for it. This hurts especially for money because you can't really get money without using it, but to optimally combine all the money to start off with, you would need at least 40 free spots, which just is not feasible to start. So you have to decide at what point you spend the coins that you have. In order to merge crops and animals, you of course need crops and animals, and so you use crates or supplies. Every 5 minutes you get 5 crates and you can hold a max of 40 at one time. As you start clearing land, you'll encounter rocks and trees, and this is where energy comes into play. All trees and rocks come in different sizes until later in the game where they are all the same, but generally they will have to be taken down in stages. Stage 1 is 30 seconds for 5 energy, stage 2 is 1 minute for 10 energy, 15, so on and so forth, with the last stage being a full 50 energy and taking 2 whole hours. And yes, the trees and the rock pieces are all mergeable too. You'll need them to unlock new shops as you come across them in your newly bought land. Although this is a rare occurrence, there's not like a dozen shops or anything, but you'll still need to make sure you don't neglect it. And since it's a bit more of a finite resource, although they've changed that now with gems, there's a bit more panic to do it all optimally. I'm not sure if you can completely screw yourself out of not being able to unlock shops, but I don't dare find out. Occasionally, you'll find keys while you're dropping supplies, of which there are 3 tiers of keys: bronze, silver, and gold. You can also get a chest of a corresponding color, and it takes 2 keys to open up a chest, although the gold ones are pretty rare and almost never drop. And yes, these can be merged as well. However, the chests only last for 72 hours, so it incentivizes you to keep playing and dropping as much as you can so you can get those keys. And some people have said it's just not worth it to get 1 gold chest when in return you could have 12 bronze chests. Inside of these chests you'll find a few different things. Energy, which there are 4 stages of, 10, 30, 90, and 270, so it's definitely worth it to merge 5 of these babies up when you can. I have a neat little collection here. You'll also find gems, which more or less do the same thing, although they have 6 stages. Gems are this game's real money currency, and while the game is pretty generous with how much they deliver to the player, they are available for purchase with real money, and they prey on the impatient, but I never had the need or desire to get more. Inside the chest, you've also got toolboxes, of which there are 3 tiers, and no, they cannot be merged, but opening them will use energy, much like the rocks and the trees, and they will give you tools which can be merged, which will then be needed to unlock stores and restaurants, so you can't neglect this. This is something you have to do. You also get greenhouse pieces, which if you manage to complete the greenhouse, it will give you a whole thing that gives you constant rewards, I think, or something. Honestly, I played this game for like 8 months. I'm not anywhere close to that, and it kind of sounds like one of those video game playground myths from when I was in elementary school. No, I swear this is what it does, but I don't know and I don't care. Once you get ingredients, you use them at the store, wait a set amount of time, which is anywhere from 60 seconds to 20 minutes, and this gives you coins which you then merge to get, bigger coins, eventually using them to get money to buy more land, to get more trees, to get more rocks, and occasionally uncover a new restaurant. Land scales with levels, so eventually you'll find yourself being the same level for a considerable amount of time, and then when you level up, you'll need a lot of money to buy 1 piece of land, which isn't that big. Experience to level up comes by slowly. It can be like 400,000 to get to the next level, and the amount of XP you get does not scale up. Merging 5 of the base level ingredient gives you 6 experience. Merging 5 of the second level gives you 18, Merging 5 of the max level gives you 54 experience. The stores do not give you XP, collecting wood does not give you XP, collecting stone does not give you XP, harvesting ingredients does not give you XP. The only thing that gives you XP is merging. At least with combining coins and wood and stone, there are more levels, so you do get more XP occasionally, but it's not a significant boost. You'll be lucky to have one merge that gives you 10k experience every few days unless you're really no-lifing it. But for the main part, this gameplay is going to be merging 5 basic units, and whether you're at level 1 or level 50, you only get 6 experience for this. As of writing this, I currently have over 300,000 experience needed to hit the next level. That is weeks, if not months away. And I shudder to think of how many active hours that is. This is Farm Merge Valley. As you level up, you get more access to land plots, more recipes, new animals, new ingredients, but more or less the game will not change from here on out. If you're playing the Discord activity version, you'll get a way to interact with people. Kind of. As you open crates, you'll get train tickets. You'll notice that on other versions of the game, there's no train station. This is all replaced by just watching an ad to get more resources. Now, they've changed the way tickets work since I started playing. When I first started, you would visit someone, which it doesn't matter if they're online, it doesn't matter if they're active, as long as they were within the same Discord, you could visit someone. And you'd receive a few coins, and I do mean a few, nothing noticeable, and not things that you can merge, they just go straight to the bank, so it's completely pointless. But you also get 10 energy and 10 more crates, and these would double if you were visiting someone you hadn't visited in at least 24 hours. They, however, changed this because many people started joining Discord servers so that you would always have someone you haven't visited in 24 hours. Ironically, they have their own Discord server where they were hosting for people to come and play, so that's probably how they figured it out. And now you still just get 10 energy and 10 crates per visit, but you get double every 4 hours, which coincidentally is the same timer you also get for some free gems and energy. You get a little bit every 4 hours. One key thing to note is that if you have full crates, you can still get more crates. You can go over 40, you just won't produce anymore. But if you have full energy, you will not get any more energy. You can go over, but you can't get any more after that. And energy recovers way slower than crates. In crates, you will max out in 40 minutes. Energy, you have a max of 50, higher on other versions of the game, and you get 1 energy every 3 minutes, meaning you have to wait over 2.5 hours to fill up. Now, this may not seem terrible. After all, if you're using 50 energy on one tree, it's going to take at least 2 hours to finish. So in theory, it's not so bad. And also, if you're playing optimally and you're using all your chests, you're going to have a lot of energy pickups like I do. But we'll get into why this is actually bad in a moment. Now, Farm Merge Valley was originally a Facebook game, and it came out in 2022, which is somehow 13 years after Farmville. It was only added to Discord, I believe, last year, and I don't think they really considered what having group Discords dedicated to people playing would do. Now, before, it was still bad because in a Discord of a few hundred people, you could always find someone you hadn't visited in 24 hours, and then the 20 crates you would get would be almost enough to get you another ticket. And if it wasn't, then if you wait another 5 minutes, that would also probably be enough. You drop your crates, you merge everything you have, and then, oh look, you're in this endless loop. Here's 20 more energy, here's 20 more crates. And if you're like me and you don't want to use your tickets knowing you could still get energy, but you're already maxed on energy, you'll want to use gems on the longer waits. Some things are stupid to use gems on. These prices make no damn sense. If you merge a cow, for instance, it will take 60 minutes and cost 60 gems in order to instantly finish it, with each minute lowering the price by 1 gem. But if you're cutting down a tree, mining stone, or opening a toolbox, it is 5 gems across the board regardless. Mind you, if you get 5 gems for free every 4 hours, you get them in every toolbox, and the only thing to really spend gems on are these plots of land that you can unlock, which just have a bunch of resources in them. So eventually, the only thing you can spend gems on is speeding things up. But if you're doing an 80-minute or 2-hour long opening, spending 5 gems that you'll get back later just makes perfect sense. And it lowers your energy so you can use your tickets without feeling like they're being wasted, and that just allows you to get started on the next thing, because then you'll use 3 tickets, suddenly you'll be up 30 to 40 energy, and you can do it all over again. Now, they did recently add this little shop that has random lockboxes or keys, and sometimes they're worth it. But given that only 5 gems can save you 2 hours and allow you to maximize your ticket usage, it's just the best value you can get. It makes way more sense to use them there, and you will have enough gems to do it when you get to this point of the game. And when you max merge gems, you're going to get about 270 anyways, so that is a lot that you're getting, and you're going to keep getting more and more before you even use all that up. I know that people must spend money in this game, and I have a hard time fathoming as to why when this game is so generous with it already, but to each their own. And of course, if they just made it so that you could use a train ticket and keep the overlapping energy, I think the game would be so much better for it. But they did this because they want to keep you active. They want to make sure you plan your day around when you'll open crates and visit people's farms, and to make sure you're getting the most out of your tickets. They don't want you to just play wild and free. They want to restrain you just enough so you have to plan. Due to the way the train tickets work, the game is dangerously close to not being an idle or incremental game. And to be fair, it's not claiming to be that. This merge thing is a whole other situation. But as it is, you only have 40 minutes of downtime if you're just coming in to use crates to make sure that you're getting the most out of what you get. But now, you visit someone, grab some energy, grab some crates, use the crates, refill your order, merge what you need to, do some cleanup, and by that time you'll have more crates and oh look, another ticket, and we can do it all over again. Like I said, it used to be way worse with the 24-hour 2x thing, but it is still far too easy to get sucked into actively playing. The max amount of tickets you can have is 3, and that can still take a while to get through. That's 70 boxes, not including the 5 you get every 5 minutes, which you'll get from taking the time to merge everything. Plus you'll be using energy, plus doing all the organizing and making sure you're filling orders. There is a world where you finish all your duties, click off for 2 minutes, and come right back and do it all again for another 20. Now you might say, Ghost Boy, that's not too bad. That sounds like you just gotta play at your own pace, and if you don't play super optimally, that's okay. There's no end goal. Life ain't a race. Just have fun. And I completely agree with you, actually. While the game mechanics are drawn to be addicting and to suck you in and make you feel like there's always something more to do, if you have the self-control to stop completely whenever you want, then that's awesome. Hop on, click for a bit, check back every few hours, and you'll still make some progress. Not as fast as everyone else, but you'll still progress in the game. But guess what, genius? Not everyone has self-control. Not in this economy. That's kind of how it was for me for a while. Some days I wouldn't play at all. Other days I would play for literally hours if I had the resources to do so. When I eat food at night, I do 2 things. I watch content. I like to see what's out there, get myself inspired, see what people are creating, because I feel like that's an important job of being a creator yourself, is consuming other things. And I like to play a game. Sometimes it's my NHL hockey game, which I'm always playing. Sometimes it's just a random idle game I pulled up. And sometimes it's Farm Merge Valley. I don't work while eating. I make a very concentrated effort to make sure that I always take time out of my day where I'm not working or thinking about working. And so I want to play something brainless or mindless or something I don't want to make a video of, because it's not an uncommon occurrence where I will play a game saying I'm not making a video on this, and then an hour later I have a script done. These games have a way of creeping in. I play while eating, so eating takes longer because I'm clicking all the time. And then I watch a video, but the video is done before I finish my food because it took so much longer to eat. Guess I better find a new video. But now I'm done eating, but there's still more video to watch. I can't just stop here and get back to work. I have to figure out how this ends. So I'll keep merging. And eventually it's been 2 to 3 hours and I've wasted a lot of my evening, my most productive hours when everyone is asleep, clicking around on Farm Merge Valley because I was procrastinating and because I let myself be sucked in by predatory game mechanics. Game mechanics, mind you, that are very generous with their paid currency and don't run ads on Discord, they are toxic for the love of the game. These games prey on you and your productivity, or even in your boredom if you're not self-employed like myself. And I consider myself to have pretty good self-control. I play plenty of games with microtransaction options, and I reject almost all of them because unless it's a game I really love and I want to give back to it, it's just not worth it. But at the same time, I'm only human, and I bleed when I fall down. The Farm Merge Valley community is oddly huge, and there's so much to do. You can see it all right in front of you, And there's a little bit of FOMO involved when you play. You want to be one of the first people you know to unlock the new ingredient or get the new animal, so you can make money even faster and unlock the new lands. And even though by level 50 you realize unlocking new things doesn't make it go faster, it actually slows you down and makes the ingredients you need harder to get as you unlock new things, but it's not really leading to anything. It doesn't feel like an accomplishment. Let's be real, most games don't lead to anything, but that doesn't make them any less enjoyable. Sometimes seeing the ending like this makes it less desirable, but for some people, it's just, I gotta get there, I gotta see that. As much as Farm Merge Valley was taking from me, and as much as I felt myself not enjoying it, but rather being addicted and sucked into it, I was still getting work done, and I considered it a break from work, a way to keep myself busy when the energy was low, a way to keep the fingers moving when the anxiety was high, and I kept telling myself, it's okay, I'm making a video on this game. I'm getting paid for my time right now. But then something happened. Then the game became a real problem. Earlier this year, Farm Merge Valley released the sticker album. If you're familiar with online games that require any sort of level up or unlock system, you're probably familiar with the term dailies. It's a thing you do and you sign on to do the bare minimum, you get rewarded for it, and then from there on you can do more or less depending on how you're feeling. You can argue until the cows come home, or in this case get merged, about whether or not dailies are good game design. On one hand, it's predatory, it incentivizes you not to miss a single day, and it's definitely not great for your mental health. On the other hand, it works. You're telling me by playing Raid Shadow Legends every day I can get a ton of free energy, gems, potions, and arena tokens just by playing for 20 minutes? Count me in. And heck, now that I have all this extra stuff, I better play to use it all. Oh boy, I better play every day and always get my dailies because the rewards are just too good. Dailies are super important to any game like this because it incentivizes you to log in, and the goal is to make sure you log in every single day. What, you played 5 days in a row? Here's a little bit extra. You did all your dailies in this week? Get an even better bonus. The secret is making the dailies just good enough that you'll want to do them even when you're not in the mood to play. Thus, either making you log on and getting you to play anyways, or making it feel like if you're going to play, you have to do them. It's just a waste of time to play the game and not even get your dailies done. The key to selling games used to be we have 10 million downloads on the App Store, but that doesn't really work anymore because people are smart and they realize that if you download the app and delete it right away, they are counting that. But if you say, hey, we have 5 million active players every day, well, that includes the players coming in, doing dailies, and stockpiling resources for the one day of the week they actually have time and decide to play a ton. Trust me, I have seen people apologizing for missing dailies to their clan members in Raid Shadow Legends because family members died. People take this stuff seriously. It's not healthy. And always keep this in mind too when you play any game that has some sort of login or daily incentive. These games are not doing it for your benefit. They want you to make their game a part of the routine. They want to suck up the few remaining hours you have in your day merging cows. They are predatory by nature and they quickly become chores. You stop enjoying the dailies long before you stop doing the dailies. And you can't even play the game and just skip the dailies because then what's the point? You're making no progress at all. You're missing out on all the things they're trying to give you. Back to Farm Merge Valley, the sticker album would start every 24 hours from when you first signed in within a 24-hour period. So if you completed a sticker album and then the 24 hours ran out, it wouldn't start again until you logged in the next time. And you would have 10 tasks. They're all rooted in the same thing. It's open a certain number of crates, use a certain amount of energy, harvest a certain amount of ingredients, or fulfill a certain number of orders. But when I mention these tasks, they come in no small order. You could need to drop 600 crates in a single day, spend up to 1,050 energy, harvest over 150 ingredients, and fulfill up to 50 orders. These are not 20-minute dailies. These, more or less, will take you the entire day. If you have a job where you can't have Farm Merge Valley open, you will not be able to do these. Now, fulfilling orders wasn't that big of a deal if you have ingredients stockpiled like me. I had a good 2 months where I wouldn't order anything and I got no money, so I could just stock up, and I heavily regret it now, but oh well, I did it. And yeah, dropping 600 crates is a lot of clicking, which certainly will not be healthy for your long-term wrist strength, not including the merging you have to do with all those supplies and the organizing. But using 1050 energy means you either have to use gems or you will not make it. If you did 2-hour ones every single possible second, that's only 600 energy in 24 hours. And you may think that it's not that big of a problem because you have smaller trees and rocks, so you just do that and then use your tickets. But I'm at a later stage in the game. I am running out of things to use energy on. Money and XP are not coming fast enough, and so I can't do the dailies unless I drop so many crates that I get enough chests that drop enough toolboxes, and even then it probably still won't be enough. And then let's say I finish all my tasks and now I have energy that I don't want to use because I need to hold on to materials to open. I'm opening crates so I can get things ready to harvest because I don't want to harvest too soon and not have enough to fulfill that task later. And suddenly, as soon as I finish my 10 tasks for the day, I have to spend the rest of my day checking back at least every 40 minutes to immediately get prepared for the next day's 10 tasks. Otherwise, there's a chance I will not make it. And now I have this sense of guilt because I'm opening crates without using tickets, because if I'm using tickets, then I'm not getting energy out of it and I'm just wasting those tickets unless I make sure to end the 24-hour period with exactly 40 crates and 3 tickets, which means I have to do even more planning ahead. So suddenly this merge game has become a time management game, and if you have a job where you're not at your computer for 16 hours a day like me, how the hell are you supposed to do this? Suddenly I am no longer dictating when I am done with the game. The game is dictating when it's done with me. If you finish all 10 tasks, you get a little gift which will contain a ton of resources. With every task you finish, you get stickers which go into a random category, and if you get all the stickers in that category, you get a reward, and it's crates and energy. If you manage to fill the entire album out, which is about 50 days to get 108 unique stickers, which you're not guaranteed to get at all because a lot of it is RNG, you will get 5,000 boxes and 5,000 energy. Which again sounds exciting if you have the stuff to use it on, but then the energy doesn't collect at all with the train tickets, and that just feels weird. Again, even though it doesn't really matter because as long as you have 3 train tickets, then you're maxing it out, but it's just unoptimal. What's even worse is I thought that this was a summer event, and it wasn't. As soon as one was over, it restarted. And at that time, I realized how deep in I was. I didn't get the 5,000 crates and energy because I missed, I think, 3 days of playing. But if I did, I can't even enjoy it because I have to play optimally to make sure I stretch out my resources among all the days because I have to make sure I'm getting my 24-hour tasks ready. How was I having anxiety preparing for days of Farm Merge Valley? And all this time, I wasn't even working. I wasn't being productive because every 10 minutes my eyes shifted over to this stupid Discord game to make sure I was playing off. You want to know why my channel isn't active? It's not entirely Farm Merge Valley's fault. That would be an exaggeration. But I'm embarrassed to say how much this game sucked me in. And you know what? Can I be honest for a second? Like, really honest? Maybe too honest? This is going to get a little personal, and if you're in my Discord or you've been in my streams or you follow me online, then maybe you've heard me talk about this, and it's honestly not something I really love talking about. Most of my friends and family don't even know about this, but for the sake of transparency, I'd like to talk about it with you guys because I think it really just underlines my connection to this game. And note, this isn't anything I'm saying for pity or anything like that. I just want to tell you how this game legitimately preyed on me when I was at my most vulnerable. At the beginning of 2022, just a few months after I uploaded this video about a game called Death's Door, I woke up from my sleep and under my arm I had a small cut that was bleeding. I figured I must have scratched myself in my sleep. I don't cut my nails nearly as often as I should. No big deal. But 2 weeks it was still there, and then I woke up one day and I just had a pool of blood dripping down from my arm. And what made it worse is suddenly I had a cut under the left side of my arm. It was a long, tiring 6 months, and I ended up being diagnosed with a skin disease called hidradenitis suppurativa, HS for short. Do yourself a favor, do not Google image it. It's not pleasant to look at. Now on the plus side, it's not a fatal disease. It's not going to kill me, although admittedly I did have a chuckle when the website said the two biggest thing it causes is anxiety and depression. Like, what are you gonna do? Get me twice? Yeah, it did. The downside is that I'm going to be extremely uncomfortable for the rest of my life. Blood, other fluids, strong smells, pain anytime I move my arms, anytime I have a crevice on my body, it hurts. It's not a fun experience. There's no known cause or cure. There's barely any treatments, and it really is just a part of my life. And now that's just how life goes. You don't get to choose the cards you play with all the time. This took a long time to get used to. I already had pretty severe sleeping problems. I got pretty bad insomnia starting in high school, paired with some pretty messed up nightmares that would keep me awake for long periods of time. So I was used to being tired all the time, but I wasn't prepared for just how much more tired I was going to get. And in the last calendar year, it's gotten worse. A huge reason you haven't seen a ton of videos from me the last 3 years is because I've been trying to figure out the best way to navigate all this. I would love nothing more than to go out and get a day job and take the pressure off of content creation. Work my 9 to 5, come home, use a few hours of my night to just work hard and enjoy creating whatever I wanted to without the stress of the money. But realistically, I don't know how long I would survive in a working environment. As it stands right now, I have about 5 to 6 hours of energy a day before I need to lie down for a bit. And honestly, the hardest part has not been dealing with the low energy, it's been accepting it. It's been accepting that this is just how it is, that I can't fight it, and I have to work with it. I'm stubborn. I told myself many times I would push through, but sometimes you just have to give up. I don't know if that's the right word. So why am I telling you all this? Well, there's two reasons. One, this is a very unsexy disease. It's extremely common, although it comes in different stages, so many people who have it probably don't even know it. It apparently affects like 1% of the population, and let's be real, the reason you don't hear about it too much is because it primarily affects Black women, and unfortunately, society tends to just ignore a lot of those issues. And because of the nature of it, it's also just not that talked about. If you look up famous people with it, it's a guy from American Idol that I've never heard of, no offense, dude, and Karl Marx, which is quite the duo. There's a chance that there's a celebrity you like that has it, but no one wants to own up to it. No one wants to talk about it. Why would you? I have no desire to be any sort of spokesperson for anything outside of playing fun video games that aren't Farmers Valley, but since statistically someone out there watching is dealing with the same thing as I am, and honestly probably has it worse, I just want to let you know that I see you. It sucks. Your pain and discomfort are valid, and I wish I could take it all away from you, because even throughout all the pain and the discomfort, sometimes it's the sleepless nights that are the things that get you the most. The second is because, well, like I said, my energy is low. I'm uncomfortable when I sit or stand or lie down or do anything. I don't sleep at night. I wake up tired, and I try to make the best of my time throughout the day, but some days it just doesn't come. And some days, I was playing Farmers Valley all day. I thought, this is nice. I'm not really using any energy, and I'm still getting to play a game, and it's for content one day, so that's okay. I was making excuses for playing Farmers Valley instead of doing anything else with the limited energy I had. I was lying to myself. I was playing a game that I did not care about, and more importantly, a game that did not care about me. I was spending hours every day, wasting time, justifying it as something to do. I don't know how many active hours I put into Farmers Valley, but I would have no problem guessing it's well within the 3-digit mark. I could have played all 3 original Mass Effect games. I could have been recording footage for future videos. I could have been literally doing anything else. The game had such a hold on me that even when I was done eating, I kept playing, and 5 hours later, I would go to sleep. I would sometimes not even go to sleep when I was tired because I just had to play for a little bit longer. And all I've done with my day is merge these stupid little pigs. This game just took control of me in such an embarrassing way. And I'm not ashamed, because I think that's what the game wanted to do. But I had this urge to climb a mountain that not only was made to not be climbed, it was made to not be climbed while making you want to climb it. It was a carnival sideshow. Throw the bottle at the target and win no prize except you get to play the game again and again. Now I realize I'm acting like the victim here. Oh, it's just a game, Ghost Boy, and the fault is partially on my own, and I understand I enabled the game and had a role to play in all this. But I know someone out there right now watching is sucked into. Maybe not to this game, but there are definitely others. And if you're losing sleep over it, if you're putting off other dreams and goals and passions, and you're pushing off bettering yourself, then please listen to the words I'm saying. It's not worth it. Sometimes you need a little break from reality. You need a little something to just not think about for a bit. But there are other and better things to do than this. That little tiny dopamine rush, it's not real. It's messing you up. You can still escape. You have time. Don't end up like me. I'm goddamn 30 years old and I'm making a video about Far Merge Valley. Get out while you can. As of uploading this video, it will be 2 months since I put the game down for good, outside of having to record a little bit of footage, but it's not been bad. I've been recording footage and I've been able to stop when I want to. I feel better for it. It's a weight off my shoulders. It's something I don't ever think about again. I go to sleep on time. I have an alarm set so I wake up at the same time every day. Not looking at my second monitor every 5 minutes trying to figure out where I left my goddamn tomatoes. But I still gotta eat. I just need a less intensive game to play while eating because I don't like letting my hands go idle. So what have I done to fill the time? I found the solution. I started playing good games. One game that I didn't hop on when it first came out that I really regret was Vampire Survivors. I've got a lot of hours in so far, and I'm really enjoying it. I plan to complete every stage with every character and 100% the game, and once that's done, I'll get all the DLCs because it's a great game and the game loop changes from time to time and it becomes interesting and it has secrets and surprises and it actually builds to something, unlike this stupid little pig. I started playing poker online too. Something you probably don't know about me is that I've loved poker since I was in middle school, but I never played it because I never had anyone to play with. I found an app that allowed me to play on my computer and my phone, Mega Hit Poker. It's not for real money, and I've just been playing against real people for the first time in my life, and I sit down while I play, and I play a couple hands, and I study the game, and I try to learn from my mistakes, and try to develop it as a skill. I'll never play for real money. I don't really like gambling, but at its core, I just love the mechanics and skill around a game like this, and the concepts of bluffing and luck, and it's so cool to see myself getting better over time. I like to play rounds of Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, which I've covered on this channel before, although it was at the tail end of a 10-hour video, so good chance you probably missed it. Heck, even regular old Heroes of Might and Magic 3, any turn-based game works since my focus isn't always 100%, and Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is quite literally one of the greatest games ever made. I went back and played some Mini Metro, which I covered in my Simple Games video, and can't get about Balatro either, which I know is just technically another version of poker, and my Bloons Tower Defense 6 save got erased, so better start that up again. There are so many games that still don't require my full attention, all of which have better systems than Far Merge Valley, more care and passion than Far Merge Valley, and most importantly, it's easier to turn off. These games let the mechanics do the talking. No dailies, no login rewards, just good, rewarding gameplay. I stand here in September of 2025 saying this is my year. I want 12 months with no freelance editing jobs, and I want to upload as much as I can. And I stand here having canceled 4 different projects halfway through because I felt like it wasn't worth the time commitment. And instead of immediately moving on to another video that I feel like would have more success, I just sat and I watched videos and I played Far Merge Valley. I felt really sorry for myself this year. 2025 has been rough. I thought this game was giving me something to do with my anxiety, but it turns out it was fueling it. I thought this game was something to do, but it's not something to do. There's no reward. There's nothing to gain from this, and every second more I played is a second I've wasted that I can't get back. The only thing that I can redeem the hours I've wasted is if you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications, and pledge to my Patreon. Follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my second channel, subscribe to my Twitch Highlights channel, follow me on Bluesky. Look, I don't know what the future looks like for me. I don't know what my job looks like. I don't know what my health looks like. And it's scary to think about. But I used to think Farm Merge Valley was a safe place that I could use to forget about all my problems. But instead of forgetting them, I was running away from them. And meanwhile, they remained problems, and now, all at once, they've caught up with me. So I'm leaving the farm for good. To the mergers out there, because I know you're out there, please don't get sucked in like I did. Play and enjoy the game if you truly enjoy it. Merge some corn if it pleases your soul, but don't let the game play you. Don't let it waste your hours, and never be afraid to turn the game off, even if the game doesn't want you to. 7.5 years ago, there was this young kid who quit his really steady and stable job that he had a future in because he wanted to make YouTube videos on video games. It took him almost a year to make one video, and he made it about idle games, hoping that he could finally break free from the trap that had consumed so much of his time and one of the big reasons he hadn't uploaded a video. And while he never could have predicted the success of that video, he never would have guessed where his health would be in just 4 years' time either. But the last words of that video, sometimes it's something I forget, and it's something I need to hold on to and remember. I think it may be the most important thing he's ever said. What was it again? Oh yeah. We're only given a short precious time on Earth, my friends. Make it count. Play some good games.